Jake Paul has surprised the boxing world by bringing in Shakur Stevenson as a sparring partner ahead of his highly anticipated clash with Gervonta Davis. Paul revealed that Stevenson personally reached out, showing interest in sharpening him for this challenge, which instantly gave his training camp a sense of credibility. He explained that his team is carefully stacking up sparring partners who are smaller than him, skilled southpaws with experience that will force him to adapt under real pressure. What shocked fans most was the unexpected collaboration with Stevenson. Since no public link ever existed between the two before this camp, yet, Paul believes that adding a world-class fighter like Shaka to his preparation will elevate his sharpness and give him the mental edge as he gears up for the biggest test of his career against Tank.
Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're going to hit up Erickson Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just going to bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty southpaw.
While Paul announced the move with pride, many analysts have raised serious questions about the sudden partnership between Jake Paul and Shakur Stevenson, calling it suspicious and out of place. They argue that Stevenson might have accepted this role not from passion, but in the same transactional way that Jaron Boots Ennis once stepped in to help Canelo Alvarez prepare for Terence Crawford. The difference, however, is striking. Boots had family ties with Canelo, making that arrangement logical, but in Stevenson's case, there are no connections or history with Paul whatsoever. This unusual link has fueled theories that financial incentives were the driving factor behind Shakur's decision. Observers strongly believe Paul offered Stevenson a hefty payday to join the camp, turning the collaboration into more of a business agreement than a sporting alliance. That idea has left fans debating whether Stevenson's choice was motivated by money rather than pure boxing spirit, highlighting the unpredictable ways modern boxing partnerships are formed.
Shakur Stevenson reached out to Jake Paul in support of him preparing for Gervonta Davis. Help me understand, what is the difference between Boots Ennis reaching out to Canelo Alvarez in support of his preparation for Terence Crawford versus Shakur Stevenson reaching out to Jake Paul in preparation for his fight with Gervonta Davis? Tell me, what is the difference? I'll tell you what the difference is. The Ennis family actually had a relationship with Canelo Alvarez. Shakur Stevenson has no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Boots is a sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout? I don't want to hear anything about this fight. It's against a YouTuber. It doesn't matter. No, Shakur Stevenson is an elite level fighter that is going to be a sparring partner to a YouTuber, and he reached out to him directly to make it happen?
Shocker. Stevenson has attempted to address the growing noise surrounding his involvement by giving his perspective on the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis matchup. He explained that if he were in Tank's shoes, he would look at such a fight from two very different lenses. From the business side, Stevenson admitted the opportunity makes complete sense, given the financial draw and mainstream attention it guarantees. But as a fighter, he confessed that he personally would not take the bout, since pride and sporting values weigh heavily for him. His statement draws a clear line between boxing as a profession and boxing as pure competition. Stevenson did not shy away from admitting that money influences decisions like these, which is why he separates financial logic from fighter pride. His honesty sheds light on the way the sport has evolved, where boxing is no longer just about dominance in the ring, but also about balancing credibility with entertainment-driven opportunities.
So can you blame a man for taking that opportunity? Because this is prize fighting, right? It's about making money and securing your family. Can you fault him for that?
It's two sides of that. Like,
Okay.
it just depends. Like, as a fighter, just because I had a draw with somebody, for me, I may run it back. But in a business aspect, if you run it back and you lose to Lamont, and then the Jake Paul fight is presented, you may not make as much money, or the fight may not be as lucrative as it was before you lost. So, as a business, I understand. I ain't gonna hate on the decision, but as a man
Your
and
pride
as
will get
a
in the way.
fighter with my integrity.
Yeah, but isn't there a price for everything, Shakur? Like, even if you did had a draw with somebody and you were offered 10 times more than you ever, I don't know what the number is, but it's a lot more than he's ever made.
The official press conference between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis delivered exactly what fans were expecting. Fireworks before the fight even began. As the two men faced off, tempers boiled over and a heated shove-off unfolded, instantly becoming a viral highlight across social media platforms. But behind the tension, analysts believe this scuffle was more theater than genuine anger. In today's fight game, face-off drama and physical confrontations at pressers are often staged to fuel hype and build. It's anticipation for pay-per-view sales. The push between Jake and Tank did more than just spark headlines. It cemented the narrative of a spectacle that mixes both sport and show business. The fight is being framed not only as a test of skill, but also as a contest of size, power, and speed. Can the bigger man crush the smaller technician? Or will the smaller warrior outwit and outpace the larger entertainer? By blending spectacle with competition, this moment ensured that even casual viewers who rarely follow boxing will be curious enough to tune in.
Could get under that left hand because he's 5-0. He could roll under that left hand, and here comes the brick hand over the top. If he lands something like that in 10 ounces, I'm going to tell you this. Jake's 200 and something pounds. That's still going to hurt at the very least, and who knows what, because Tank's got ridiculous power. So Jake, a little sloppy on the push there. He got pushed. He wanted to get it back. There's something to be taken away from that, but lines up perfectly for a counter left hand. And you even see his promoter here is kind of grabbing his left hand because Tank wanted to let it fly. And Jake backed up a little bit. He said, oh, and Tank comes from that. Tank, man. Tank said, where I'm from, the bullies get bullied. All right, dude, there you go. Listen, takeaways from this thing, I don't know. Tank seemed to have a little bit more energy today. He seemed to be more lively. Him going back and forth with the media, with Jay Leon, with Jake, with Aiden Ross. There seemed to be a bit more energy today. That's all I really asked for. So in terms of, selling us on something, sure. Better job today from both guys. Jake, seemed a bit more locked in here with Tank as well. They had a little bit more fun. Tank going after Nikisa was pretty funny. But listen, this doesn't change anything in my mind. The 10-ounce gloves doesn't really change anything to me. I mean, again, I think that's a bad idea for Tank, more so because even if Jake doesn't land clean, those are 10-ounce gloves, still going to hurt. Tank is still punching in gloves that are 2 ounces heavier than he normally uses, so I don't know how that's a win for him. The $2 million bet almost certainly won't happen, which I didn't think would in the first place, but Tank pretty much confirmed it. And we're all left with the same kind of idea that we thought about this to begin with. This is an entertainment exhibition that we know is going to draw a ton of eyeballs. I'm going to watch, and there's going to be great high-level competition boxing on the underneath card. And even in the main event, if something is to happen, if someone is to get knocked out, it will go mega viral, and both these guys are going to make a shit ton of money.
Despite the entertainment-focused build-up, insiders within the boxing community have insisted that Gervonta Davis is approaching this showdown with absolute seriousness. They point to his body language and preparation as proof that Tank is laser-focused and not treating Jake Paul as a gimmick. Analysts remind fans that this fight carries far more weight than some realize. If Davis defeats Jake Paul, he not only secures a massive payday, but also cements himself in mainstream headlines as the man who humbled one of the biggest crossover stars in combat sports. Experts warn Paul not to repeat the mistake of underestimating opponents. As he has done in promotional banter with older fighters like Mike Tyson, unlike exhibitions, this is a real test against a ferocious prime fighter with a proven record of destruction. Should Paul take this fight lightly, the outcome could be catastrophic for him. Tank's intense camp preparation is a clear sign that he knows both the risks and rewards of facing someone with Paul's global spotlight.
In this particular, in the press conference, and you can just look at him and tell, like, no, this dude he's going to get this money for sure, because there's so much money out there to be had. But Jake Paul better be not playing around, man. Not get cute, not play any games. Don't hit him in the back of the head. Don't rabbit punch him. Don't do any of that stuff, man. Because Mike Tyson, first of all, Mike Tyson, a lot of people think Mike Tyson was pulling punches on Jake Paul, and a lot of people think that Anderson Silva was pulling punches on him too. You're not going to have a little Gervonta out there pulling punches on you, man, if you're out there playing games. So, I don't like the fight at all. However, as far as it being an entertaining situation, I almost guarantee you that fight itself is going to be entertaining. That it's going to be something that you look at and you're going to say, man, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to want to know what happens in it. But at the same time, it's kind of like what people think, when you see a car crash, like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden the traffic gets heavy and you're like, man, I'm going to be in traffic for a long time. And then you drive forward a little bit and then you see, oh man, this is some accident on the other side of the road and everybody just slowing down to watch. That's the type of entertainment that you can expect from this fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. There's going to be a lot of people watching it, but I got to say, man, you really can't blame the guy on what he's doing. And there's a lot of criticism flying on Gervonta Davis. It's not Gervonta Davis's fault that boxing took this turn.
Commentator Showbiz. The adult has been very direct in his view of what this fight means for Tank Davis. He believes a Tank victory, especially by knockout, would turn him into a hero not just for hardcore boxing fans, but also for the casual audience who have long wanted to see Jake Paul humbled inside the ropes. According to Showbiz, Tank wouldn't just be winning a fight. He would be giving fans the moment they've been waiting years for. The downfall of a social media star who climbed into boxing and disrupted tradition. Paul's journey has always divided opinion, inspiring younger fans but irritating purists. If Davis delivers a dramatic finish, it would symbolize boxing pride triumphing over entertainment-driven stardom. That cultural element elevates the fight beyond just money or titles, making Tank the flag bearer for traditional boxing values against Paul's unorthodox rise. 7.7 former champion and analyst Timothy Bradley has been brutally honest in his breakdown. Calling the fight little more than easy money for Gervonta Davis, Bradley insists Tank's resume, filled with world-class opponents and championship-level battles, makes Jake Paul look inexperienced and unthreatening by comparison. In his eyes, there is no scenario where Paul could realistically overcome Tank's superior skills and fight IQ. Bradley frames this event as a low-risk, high-reward payday for Davis, a chance to boost his earnings and star power while facing a man who lacks elite credentials. His commentary underscores the view of many boxing insiders who believe this matchup is less about competition and more about business. For them, Jake Paul's fame is the selling point, while Davis's dominance is the guarantee. Bradley's blunt take captures the belief that Tank will handle the fight comfortably, collecting his paycheck while adding another name to his list of conquered opponents.
Gervonta Tank Davis stops that. If he is the one who stops this whole train, knocking out Jake Paul, he will become a boxing hero. People will then say, now get the hell out the sport. And I'm talking about from a fighter's perspective. That's what they're going to say. Now, it's not going to go on either one of their official records because it's an exhibition. But it doesn't matter because optically, visually, seeing that go viral, and I mean go viral, and Jake Paul will never hear the end of it.
We're going to have to help you up. We're going to help you up. We're going to see about it. Help you up. You're going to...
Because Gervonta Tank Davis is not only a real boxer, he's a real boy. He's 5'5". He's a lightweight. Skills pay the bills. Let him knock out Jake Paul, give him Bambi legs, or knock him down. Gervonta Tank Davis, that moment will go viral, and he will be a far bigger, well-known boxer than he is today, and he will also be a hero. And that's the Black True Sugars. That you guys don't want to admit it. Don't bull jive. Think about it. He will be a boxing hero. It will go viral over and over. It's the same thing. No, not even the same. It's not even close, but there was a viral reaction when AJ knocked out Francis Ngannou.
Anthony Anthony Joshua can dispose of the MMA champion.
When AJ knocked out Francis Ngannou in the first round, it was like, now get out of here.